So obviously the big news over the past week is the boycott. So for those that don't know, we obviously had a 200k event planned in for a 5-star combat for the rank. So the idea was, I think the 4-star combat was about 60 70k, something like that, I think it was. Um, we had a BBE item, I think at 75k, something like it was. And then we had the 5-star at 100k. And then we had two ranks. We had the major at 150 and general at 200 it was. So SpaceX announced that event and announced the Titan event 200k as well, pretty much in close proximity. And a lot of players literally lost their minds over it. And they're sort of saying that we've got the endurance and we've got the 200k um, combat event and we've got a Titan event all in close proximity. After the last endurance, we had quite a big event as week one. So people not happy saying, listen, you're putting a lot of big events in these sagas now. It's getting a bit ridiculous. And all of a sudden, I was invited into a chat, and it was all some of the top players in the game, most influential players in the game, all sort of saying, listen, we are not happy with this at all. Like, Space Ape are sort of putting lots of things behind the paywall, and we're going to fight. We're going to boycott it. We're not going to play the event. We're not going to spend at all. All these sort of things being talked about. So obviously this has been passed on to Space Ape. They know about it. It's been talked about in chats, things like that. So this goes on for a few days, and then after that they go, right, okay, we're not doing the combat event. We're going to make it a 50k event for the 4-star, and we're going to cancel the Titan event. Now, for me personally, I wasn't too concerned with the combat event. I was concerned there's too many big events, but I wasn't concerned with the combat event because I've always said that if it's a bot or a combat or a skip, you don't have to go and get it. It's not like you're gonna go really far behind unless it's like unbelievable content. But then you don't mind spending for it. If it's like if it was like Nightstick, for example, a bot like that, or like Leo Prime, then I understand people are like, oh my god, I need to get this bot, so I need to spend. But you can do well in wars without ranks. You don't need that content. You can literally finish at 100k, get your 5-star combat, and be done. And you could then just go, you know what, I'm not going for the 5-star, it's a bit too far, I'll go for the BBE. You can sort of set your own event and what you want to do. And I was fine with that. But my big point was that you could argue that Titans are the same sort of content, but for me it's not. It is completely different. Wars are won and lost with Titans. If your Titan gets beat very early, or quite early in the match, you can lose your whole team to a Titan. It's that important. So although the ranks skips 5-star combat, 4-star combat is not essential, Titans are essential, and they put that at a 200k event as the prize at 200k. And I was like, that's not right. That's not right. Putting absolutely essential content, that's the key word, and it is. At the top level of the game, it is essential content. And I spoke to Dale. We had a phone call, talked about a few other things, but I sort of said, you do understand that, let's just say that out of these 3 top teams at the minute in the game, out of them 120 people, let's just say that only 80 of them are willing to do that event out of those 120, and 40 don't. After that event, once then people start leveling that 5-star Titan, those teams will not be able to afford to have people without 5-star Titans in their team. It will be a requirement pretty much that you have to have a 5-star Titan. And so all of a sudden, those 3 teams struggle to recruit people. So you're going to have gaps in teams. You're going to have players coming up that maybe aren't as good. You're going to have players that are as good that can't compete because they haven't got it, and will probably either do what I do and sort of drop down and go, right, well, not much I can do really, and just sort of relax a bit and go, I'm not sort of having that competitive edge, I'm sort of backing down a bit and relaxing, or they'll quit the game. And that's not good for the game at all for people to do that. And I said that, when they sort of bring something a bit more exciting out about wars, when they bring something decent about events out, when they make the game a bit fresher, I will gladly step back up again. I've always said as well that they need to remove cooldowns for wars. When they do that, I will gladly go up and start competing at a higher level. But right now, in terms of time constraints, right now in terms of the content coming out, I'm not happy with it. So why would I put my everything into the game when I'm not really happy with the lifestyle balance and the monetary balance between getting value for your money? So, without going off on a tangent, anyway, Space It, like I said, cancelled both events. But I didn't think they need to cancel the content of the combat event. I thought the combat event was fine. I think that's the key for me. If you want to put a 200k event in there for people that want to do 200k, good luck to them. Let them go and spend hundreds of dollars chasing them ranks. I'm fine with that. There were people at top alliances that are on defense maybe that think that's essential. I heard that most people went and got them ranks when they came out and put on Beachcomber, which I kind of understand. So I understand people are going to want that content. I don't necessarily want it. I don't necessarily need it. So I'm fine with them doing 200k as long as I can do less. As long as I can do my 100k and get decent content or whatever I need, I'm fine. It's your choice. But that Titan has to be available. And it's not going to be available free to play, guys. Let's be honest, it's not. Think about the work that goes into creating these 5-star Titans and the artwork and everything else. It's always been a plan. So, me personally, I said it can't be anything more than 150k, but I think the event needs to be 125k. That's where it should be at. I think 125k. People have said to me that 75k is achievable free to play. I don't know. I'm yet to really see any hard evidence. I'm not saying it's not. I find it unlikely without any evidence to really believe that. But I can get 50k quite comfortably with the side pass. So I'm pretty sure that 60k, 65k is achievable. Maybe 75, maybe a push. But that's sort of the limit, I think. So you got to think if a free to play player can get 75k, they need to get 50k to get to 125. That's still a lot of points, 50k. So people are going to have to spend to get to 125k. I don't think that's a bad thing. If you want that top content, then you will need to pay. And let's be honest, 50k is probably going to cost you about $40, $50. If you want it, you could argue that's too much maybe, but I think that's probably about right. But again, the argument is you will have to do that for Metroplex. You will have to do that for Fort Max. You will have to do that for the Ark, and you'll have to do it for the next Titans coming out later this year. So that's $200. And the problem is as well is that you will go and chase Metroplex, you will get 5-star Metroplex, you will level it to level 25, which are the new levels that are coming out, and then they will bring out Fort Max, and as soon as that is 5-star, level 25, that eradicates the need for Metroplex. Because instead they're going to balance it, they won't be able to. I will foresee that. I once said that Titans are one of the worst things to come to this game. The coolest, but one of the worst. Along with the Titan tech tree. Impossible to balance. I said that at the time, and I still think that is the case. So, not too sure what they're going to do with it. They did talk about putting it in the store. That's another option as well, but not exclusively. But we're hoping that we're going to get the event down to 125k. Knowing Hyro, I don't think he will. I think it'll be 150k. Will we see another boycott? Who knows? Time will tell. It depends if the players are willing to spend to get to 150k or not, whether they've got the time to get to 150k, and whether they actually think it's actually quite reasonable considering that content is going to be irrelevant by the end of the year. So, let me know what you guys think in the chat, in the comments. Would you compete in a 150k event for the Titan? Do you think it's worth that for it to be made relevant in a few months' time? That's the big question. Would you have enjoyed the combat event at 200k? Would you have bothered? Have we chose the wrong sort of direction? Did we want the combat event to stay? Was it a good actual setup? Was it the Titan event that we actually wanted cancelled and we've actually maybe blurred the lines between the two? Let me know in the comments and let me know what you guys think.